Who's going first?
Happy first day of the summer.
Is that
May Day, yeah. 2021.
Is it May Day?
May Day was yesterday, I think.
Okay, so
it's the summer has
it's officially begun.
The horrible year is maybe over.
it's
I don't want to say that too soon.
It's May, so no, it's just begun. The horrible part might be over, but the year has just begun.
Well, once that Indian variant doesn't come here, innit?
I haven't looked at the news.
Don't look at the
news. I mean,
news.
I've heard of it. I've heard of what you're saying, and of course, it's awful. Why wouldn't it be? But
awfulness is always better when it's somewhere else, though.
Yeah, well, isn't that what we've been saying all along? Like, nobody exactly cares as long as it's not.
Do you want to fly to
them.
India? Let's go to India.
I'm not.
Imagine we flew there and got locked there just to make it 3 out of 3.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, that's the joke, right? Like chasing international lockdowns.
Yeah, chasing them. Go for the big one.
Yeah,
Final curtain call.
Extreme.
I just really wanted that tandoori.
Extreme sports of lockdowns. Like,
Yeah.
give me one more. Give it to me one more time. Harder this time. Ah!
I like curry so bad. I just want to get locked in India.
I do like curry, and I would like to try curry in India one day, but maybe not during coronavirus.
Boy's trapped in India. I messaged him. I might message him again.
That's a personal thought. I don't even know why you're throwing that out there right now. Speaking of diarrhea, curry, diarrhea. See what I did there?
Sounds racist to me.
I I know I've sort of told you about this, but I've waited to kind of tell you everything about it because this made me laugh until I cried one night, and I hope I can get it out without losing it,
shitting your pants.
Yeah, because I think it is maybe one of the funniest things I've ever heard. I don't know why. Basically, there's this female comedian in New York who's kind of like checked in from time to time on me during this whole shit mess, and like around the election, she was like, which was crazy. She knew what happened to me, but then all of a sudden she's like, "Who did you vote for?" And I was like, "Are you fucking serious? Kanye, that's who I voted for." I'm like, "Why?" I mean, my mom always taught me it's like rude to ask, but anyway, she's a very nice person and she's really very sweet. And she the other day sent me this message on Instagram saying, like it was somebody else's story, and she was like, this person is looking for podcast producers in London. And I was like, oh, well, I am not that, but I do a podcast, and I'm doing a podcast with Eve Ellen Bogan. Everybody's doing better than me. I think that's what it's called. Everyone's doing better. It's Everyone's Doing Better Than Me. That's the name of my podcast.
Well, don't forget the name of the one that you created. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I didn't even know that's how you pronounce her second name.
Ellen Bogan.
Yeah, Ellen Bogan.
Ellen Bogan.
Yep. It's got an Australian ring to it, even though she's
Jewish
from New York.
Yeah, interesting, right? So this woman's like, this guy's looking for this podcast producer, and so I was like, sure, I'll bite, because I'm like, yeah, and I'm like trying to jumpstart my career in lockdown somehow, like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, so I take a look at this guy's page, and his Instagram is like, You've Got Mail, MALE.
Ooh, hilarious.
Yeah, and I guess he makes, and I read his bio, and he makes like...
is he gay?
Yes.
You've got mail.
Yeah.
You've got a male attached
genitalia
in your ass.
Yeah, and then his bio's like, I love astrology and memes, and I was like, well, that's up my alley. That's like two of my favorite things. So I messaged him. I was like, hey, this comedian in New York told me you're looking for a podcast producer. What are you looking for? And this guy then sends me, he's like, I need this podcast producer because of Chipotlegate, and I need to like tell my story and get the word out. And I was like, I don't know what Chipotlegate is. I'm going to Google it. And he was like, no, here. And then he sends me like a series of his like Instagram posts, and he's like, check my highlights as well. And he like has all these highlights. Now this guy has like 175,000 followers on Instagram. He has a blue check mark.
But he needs a podcast platform to...
Well, no, this is it. And so I start to watch this, right? And basically he and his flatmate here in London ate at a Chipotle in Charing Cross, and then I guess became violently ill, right?
From the motor, yes.
Apparently both. I mean, there was a lot of content about this illness that this man had, and clearly he knows how to eat. I guess he was on TikTok as well, like, and he had, who knows, 1 million followers on that, I'm sure, and like, so he knows how to use the internet. So he's created all this content about how Chipotle poisoned him, right? He's like, and he like, because he has the blue check mark, I guess he like DM'd them and they took notice, and he was like, you've poisoned me and all this shit. And so he was like, we have the bowls, the burrito bowls that did it.
It was burrito bowls.
I guess so, yeah. And like, and they need to get tested, right? So they sent a courier to come pick up this like leftover food that made him sick. He put it in a Gucci bag, okay? Like a Gucci, like store bag.
So he's rich, gay, and sick.
Yeah, he's rich, gay, and sick.
And he's attacking Mexican culture.
Yeah, Chipotle, Mexican culture. That's right. And he's created this like whole story, and I'm watching it, and like he's, like sort of screaming on the internet about how Chipotle made him sick. And then people from all over the world are like, in America, everywhere, are like, Chipotle made me sick too. So he's like compiling all this evidence, right? And he's like, Chipotle is knowingly poisoning people. And
so he thinks they did it with intent.
Well, that's what he thinks, because he said they're being sort of very passive about it or whatever. And
no.
Yeah, they're kind of, yeah, but it's funny, he has like the video of the courier, and he's like sitting here talking about it in his stories. But what's hilarious is he's like holding a little dachshund, like while he's like yelling about this. He's like, Chipotle is trying to kill me, and like the dachshund's in his arms, and then another one like waddles up and he like scoops the second one up, and he's like, fucking Chipotle, and he's like screaming about it. And so basically I was like, okay, what is it that you're trying to do with this podcast? Like, because I was like thinking maybe we could have him as a guest on even my podcast, right? Like this guy with all these followers who makes these memes, he's like internet famous, and he's been poisoned by Chipotle. I'm like trying to spin it. I'm like, how could this work for me? Because, that's the human way, right? Like, hey,
Yeah, that's how the industry works.
Right. And I was like, so what are you trying to do? And he's like, I just need to get my story out there. Like, Chipotle is poisoning people. They're doing nothing about it. And now I'm being sued for defamation by Chipotle. And I've hired Meghan Markle's lawyer.
Oh, wow.
He's hired Meghan Markle's lawyer to defend him. And I'm like, okay, this is crazy. But then I'm like, well, I can't help him because I don't know how the fuck to produce a podcast. This is the first one that we're doing that we have any type of professional equipment, and I still don't even know how to use it.
It took a year and a half, but we got something that doesn't sound like you're listening inside a bean can. Yeah, exactly. And so I was like, okay, well, I know two people, right? And one of them is Horatio Gould, who it's called Boys Gone Wild. He's very weird. He's very funny. I've been on his podcast, like right when we got here from Australia. It was a 2-hour episode. Check it out. He's a cool dude. I really, really like him. I like his shit. And then the other guy is Tom from the Being Mean podcast, which I've been on twice. And I had never met Tom. I went on that podcast via Brett Raybould, very funny comedian in New York City, I guess. And Brett Raybould got on that podcast because he saw they were looking for guests on Reddit or something. And then he went on, and then I guess they wanted a woman or something. And Brett was like, oh, I know someone who identifies as female, and that's me, even though I don't sound like one. And, yeah, so I've been on their podcast twice, and then it's Tom and this guy David, and David has become
right now one of my only friends in London that I've made. And so David and I have been going on walks, and he's like watched me go through my like woo-woo journey where, you know, I've stopped wanting to hang myself, and maybe we'll get into that later. But I met Tom, and I messaged Horatio and I messaged Tom, and I'm like, hey, are you guys, you know, are you looking for work? You know, I like potentially
looking for starting like a serial type series of podcasts, an in-depth investigation into.
Yeah, because I had asked this You've Got Mail guy. I think his name's Sebastian or something.
Oh, I like that. One of my best friends growing up was called Sebastian.
It's a good name.
His name was Sebastian Barrage, and everyone called him Spastic Bastard.
Yeah, that's funny.
That was pretty funny back then, yeah.
Well, so, you know, he was like, I was like, do you want to just tell your story somewhere, or do you want to like create a podcast and like give updates? And he was like, I need to make a podcast and I need to make it good and whatever. So I was like, okay, so I'll message these people I know, because, you know, I like looking into it, he might be right. I mean, Chipotle's owned by McDonald's. McDonald's is paper food. It just like melts in your mouth like trash, you know? And, you know, could be. You know, I mean, they serve, you know, millions of people. Who knows what's going on and why people are getting sick. But this man is like convinced, you know, they're doing it on purpose. And so I messaged Tom, who is, you know, and I say this with love, a weirdo. And he was like, well, what's the vibe? And I, explained to him, actually, let me find it. It was really very funny.
So it's fast food, Mexican food.
Yeah, but it's not really like Mexican food. It's got its own flavor. I've liked Chipotle. My mom and I used to like get it as a treat when I was like a kid.
I think I had it in Canada once in Vancouver.
Yeah, so I
don't remember shitting all over the place though.
Yeah, so I'm like,
but maybe they're only trying to poison the gays.
Well, I think, you know, he already debunked that. It was like all sorts of people were getting poisoned. But basically, I messaged Tom, and I was like, oh, well, this is like way too far back in my texts with him. But I messaged the same thing to Horatio, and Horatio's the one that made me laugh until I cried one night when I the same evening, or maybe it was the next day, I like thought it over again, and I went to like reread the text messages, and I just want to read it now because it's insane. So basically I was like to Horatio, are you taking on any projects as like a Are you taking on any projects as like a podcast producer? I have a very real but sort of insane situation and person who is looking for a producer. And then Horatio goes, very much so. Always looking for work. And I go, nice. Okay, it's pretty wild, but I'll put you guys in touch. The vibe is he has 145,000 followers on Instagram and got horrific food poisoning from Chipotle and wants people to stop eating there immediately because he has collected evidence that people are getting sick from it all over the world. And so he wants to do a podcast. And then Horatio goes, cool. What's his name? Instagram handle. And then I tell him, you know, it's at You've Got Mail. And he said to just DM him about it. And then Horatio goes, thanks a lot. I've DM'd him. And it's just like the sort of like nonchalant, like, yeah, I'm here for it, you know. And
is he going to take on the project, you think?
Well, I don't know. See, that's the thing. I haven't followed up with Tom or Horatio. When I sent it to Tom, and I sent that same thing to Tom, Tom just like went ha ha ha, and he was like amazing and also libelous. Is that how you say that word? Libellus?
You're asking
libelous?
You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah. So it's like it's just a totally insane situation. And you know, I guess we might see this in the news, you know, at some point, this guy trying to bring me down Chipotle.
I wonder how much money is he looking for to get out of them?
Who knows? But
I mean, what are they worth? They're worth a lot. They're owned by McDonald's.
But I will say this about all that, right? Is because like, I woke up, I did my woo-woo, and then I saw this message from the female comic in New York, right? And then this sort of like slightly made my day take like a left turn, right? Like I became invested in this for a while because I watched this guy's stories and reels. I mean, there was so much content. I didn't see all of it, but it was like a lot. Like if I went through all of it that he sent me and told me to look at, it would have taken me a fucking hour, you know? And And then I like reach out to 2 different people who both were like, yeah. And then I say to the guy, you know, okay, I'll put you in touch. Do you want to do email? And he was like, have them DM me. And I'm like, okay. And then they both say they do. And then they both say they did. And then I say to the guy, I'm like, you know, okay, well, they said that they've DM'd you. Also, you know, I'm probably not going to eat Chipotle anymore because of you. So thanks for giving a shit about people, right? Because if this is coming from this place where he doesn't want people to be poisoned, I'm like, good on you. And
I don't know about that.
Well, I gave him a thumbs up. And he read it, and he said nothing.
Oh, there you go.
He didn't say thank you. He didn't even click double tap, you know, like heart to heart it.
We should try and just sue McDonald's and just up him.
Well, and I'm just like...
I'm just going to tell everyone I got molested by Ronald McDonald, or at least a man that was dressed up as a clown in a McDonald's parking lot.
This motherfucker knows how to use the internet for sure. And he didn't even say thank you or double heart my message. Like, it's just like I'm just sort of some, you know,
stepping
dandelion.
stone.
Yeah, just blowing through his life. You know, he has like his eyebrows shaved like in 2 places. I think maybe on both sides, like 2 lines. And I'm just like, not even a thank you. You know what I mean? Like, I did put a little effort into this, and like, not even a heart, not even a fucking double. You couldn't click my message twice and just show some sense of fucking appreciation. I like couldn't believe it. It's like he got food poisoning once, and now he's gonna fucking take down a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
So you're on Chipotle's side after that?
Sort of. I mean, part of me is just like,
snubbed.
Have some fucking manners. I mean, Jesus, I did try to help, and it will be interesting to see if, because I haven't talked to Horatio or Tom since then, but I think it could be pretty funny.
We'll see him on Rogan.
Yeah, right? No, dude, this guy will have a comedy special before you and I ever get to do stand-up comedy again. Mark my words. He will have a special. It won't be funny.
Chipotle or Chipotle?
Chipotlegate. Yeah.
Chipotlegate.
But it made me laugh so hard. You were asleep. I had tears coming out of my eyes rereading Horatio's message. Now, granted, that didn't happen just now, but I was just like, this is so ridiculous. But I love how weird it is and how on board people can be for weird shit. You know, they're like, I see this is insane, and I'm here for it, you know?
No, I mean, I will watch and see how it unfolds. I feel like they might have the lawyers that can crush him for sure.
Well, he has Meghan Markle's lawyer. I don't know what that means, but
yeah,
I mean,
but he ain't black.
No, he's not. He's not. He is gay, and he has 2 dachshunds, though.
Yeah.
Two dachshunds.
They're little dogs.
Little dogs. He held them both under 2 arms, like his little breasts. Like they were like his little doggy breasts with their tongues, like, you know, and then waddling around.
How long was he sick for, did you say?
I don't know. He was like hallucinations and
bullshit.
He had a video of him vomiting, which I'm like, did you make that after the fact, or what's going on? You know?
Oh, get this. I'm gonna do it again. No,
yeah. But he has more followers than we will ever have people listening to this podcast, like, for sure.
Yeah, but you don't want that many followers.
I don't want that kind. Well, who knows? Is he even famous? Like, is he recognizable in the street? I don't know. I don't need that in my life. I don't need that kind of fame, if you will. But yeah, so I thought that it was so stupid. I laughed my fucking head off. I just... Like I'm headless now. I'm decapitated. So yeah, that's something that happened to me. I thought it was absolutely fucking hysterical.
Yeah, no one's hitting me up to fucking be their fucking O.J. Simpson, Kardashian, fucking McDonald's courtroom situation at all. Remember
well, you can be mine if you want.
Okay.
I'll let you murder me.
Well, then it's.
If you let
someone murder you, is that even a murder? Oh, no, I'm just.
Yeah, what is?
I'm actually confusing rape and consent there, but there's no matter what.
How?
There's no no. If you let someone rape you, it's consent, isn't it? But if you let someone murder you,
what? Yeah,
you still don't get you.
Is that like?
No, you still get in trouble.
Is that like?
Well, you can
suicide fun.
If you assist in someone's suicide, you get in trouble.
Yeah, well,
it's not allowed. It looks down upon.
Yeah. Well, interesting.
Why'd you hand him the rope or kick over the stool?
Well,
I was just trying to help out my mate who was sad.
I never told you this because, it's upsetting. But like, right around Easter, I was Googling, basically legal suicide, right? Like, because I guess there's this Australian guy who, I don't know, it does these lectures on how to successfully and peacefully kill yourself, right? Which is where I was at, right?
Maybe an open window.
Yeah, no. But I mean, like, there's no guarantee
a couple of stories
you're going to die if you throw yourself out there. You could just be paralyzed. And now you're like a vegetable. It's even worse, right? So I was like I was doing really bad, really, really bad. I was really angry and upset and in a lot of pain, given all the fucking horseshit we've had to deal with the last year and that I've had to deal with personally, and you were living with me, and, it was a fucking nightmare. And I actually messaged, my best friend Luke, and I was like, if I find a country where I can go legally kill myself, do you want to come to my suicide? And he was like, what?
I think it's like some Scandinavian country. Like, is it Norway or Sweden or something?
Yeah, there was something like that, but he was like, what? No. And that's when he... between him and Eve mentioned the Wim Hof breathing, and then Luke, when I mentioned that back to him, because a few years ago, I was living with Luke, and Luke discovered Wim Hof, and then did not actually do any of the techniques, but just...
A lot of people, me included, have discovered all these things and talked about them and never done them. I think it's a common practice to go, this shit helps, and I'll read about it and scroll about it and like fucking watch the videos on it, but never do it.
Never try it. Well, that's what Luke...
never implement it in your life in a way that's like, part of your routine.
Well, that's what Luke did. Like Luke, when he discovered Wim Hof, I thought it was hilarious. I was getting ready to move from Brooklyn to Harlem, and he was going to move with me, and he was meeting one of our friends, Barrett, at a bar, and it was like a very cold New York night. It was below zero. You could hear the wind. The wind was rattling the windows. And he decided, because he was like Wim Hof now, to leave the apartment in a T-shirt in December with the wind like rapping at the windows, with no jacket, right? And he goes to the bar. He gets shit rocked, and then...
Did he do the breathing in the bathroom?
I don't think he did the breathing at all. I think he was just
in between lanes of coke or something.
Yeah, he was like cold immersion, like I am man, and like I remember thinking like, Luke is going to be cold walking home from the subway, like hearing the wind. I'm like, and when he got home, he was red, like his whole body was like red. And you could like see he was an ice cube. Like when he entered the house, it was like he was steaming, like when like ice hits heat, he was just like, I'm never fucking doing this again. And I was just like, this is hilarious. So he like told me about Wim Hof. Then Eve told me about Wim Hof again, back around Easter when I was going to hang myself. And then, I was like, well, my choices are I kill myself or I'll give this shit a shot. Why not? Like, I'm here and I've got fuck all to do and I hate my life. And that's when we started, I did the breathing, and then I started, my transcendental meditation process. No, I didn't pay for it. No, I'm not going to the school or whatever. I don't have that kind of money, but I did enough research to feel like I found my path in it that I feel comfortable with, and I'm doing it safely, because I thought it was really bizarre. I found out you can actually meditate yourself back into a depression if you fuck it up.
Probably meditate yourself into some sort of psychosis as well.
Yeah, you can.
And who knows if we're actually both in a kind of dual fucking psychosis through meditation, but at least it's fucking we're in a better place.
Yeah, I mean, we've been discussing this because, so, Tom got sober, I guess. Tom, went to rehab, and he, I guess, found some drugs. I hope this isn't horrible to say. I hope he doesn't get mad at me, but he found basically 3.5 grams of MDMA, and they were like, Katharyn will have that, and so he gave it to me.
Katharyn likes drugs.
Yeah, and so, we took it the other day, right? And so I've been doing this stuff maybe a month now, right? I do Wim Hof breathing right when I wake up, followed by 20 minutes of meditation, and then I do 20 minutes of meditation at some point in the evening before I go to bed.
And yoga.
And I do yoga, not as much as we were doing, but here and there I do yoga. And if I'm feeling anxious or really freaked out, I do more Wim Hof breathing, and I'm doing the cold showers right now. I've started integrating that. Like today I did
a little bit of ketamine every once in a while.
Right. But I do 3.6 minutes of cold showers, freezing, and it doesn't even feel cold anymore. But when we took the MDMA on Friday, you were like visibly, because you're doing this stuff too, but you're just like a little more behind me. You haven't been as dedicated, right?
I'm doing it every single fucking morning, but I've only upped it to the amount, because I was doing 10 minutes every morning of mindfulness, which is like, who fucking knows? All meditations are pretty similar. There's like little.
They're similar, but there's differences.
There's little differences. I was doing that with some chick on the internet, and her voice got a bit too
cloying,
annoying. Let's say. So now I'm doing it with this Raphael, who does 20 minutes of TM, transcendental meditation, which is good. I like his voice, and it's guided. Because if it's not guided, who knows where I'll go?
Well, yeah. I mean, for me, I have tried mindfulness meditation in the past, and it doesn't work for me. It stresses me out because it's like, scan your body, release the pain. And I'm like, there's that, and it almost made it worse for me, right? So what I like about the transcendental meditation, which is like essentially mantra meditation, is like I have my mantra, and whenever my thoughts wander, I come back to my mantra. And
you have to have your mantra. Mine's a slur.
Yeah, it took me a minute to find mine, and now I have it. But I started doing this, and I hadn't researched what it could do for me, but prior to doing it, it was literally me grasping at like the last chance I had to continue on in my life in this world. And the effects have been like mind-blowing. Like, we did that MDMA on Friday, and you were visibly fucked up, and you're so exhausted from working all the time that you just like...
Yeah, no, I was super high, but I'm also
you passed out.
Yeah, but I was also like, when I was on it, and... Because I've done that MDMA for years and years, or when it used to be ecstasy, or whatever you get. You don't know what you're getting. Whatever they cut it with. But I was like super high, but I was also like, this is fucking gay.
Yeah.
This is a gay drug. Like, I just don't give a fuck. Like, it's in, like, I'm just getting all these endorphin rushes, but I'm barely interested. And I just fell asleep.
Well, and for me, I was like, I did more than you, right? Because, I'm I'm a drug addict. No, but
your septum is going to be gone.
No, don't say that. That frightens me.
And you got a ring in there keeping it together, like.
But like, I did it.
You should hang a sign off that ring.
What should the sign
Under
say?
construction.
That's great. But like, I would get like flashes of being really, really high, but then I would just feel normal. And I had like a whole phone call with Eve about our podcast, and like a call with Luke. And I told her, and she was like, you don't sound like you're on drugs at all. And I was like, I don't even feel like I'm on drugs at all. And we were just outside just now. And it's like, the thing is this woo-woo we've been doing, and I've been reading about it. It feels like it's put me on another vibration, right? So it's like now colors are brighter. I can sort of see the fibers of existence, like things in people and nature and plants. Basically, like, I feel like I'm already on MDMA all the time now. That's the way I feel.
Yeah, your perception has shifted.
Shifted drastically. And there's been all sorts of shit.
Instead of looking outside yourself, you started looking within.
Yeah. Because, we were like, I think trying to use drugs to like fix things, like, oh, let's feel better. And then they weren't working then either, because it was like, but it's just so crazy. Like, I've had this foot pain, and you used to massage my foot for me. I was buying inserts.
It used to make a crunchy sound, which is disturbing.
It was a disturbing, crunchy sound, and it felt like just knots that would never come out. And my hip hurt, like, even when I thought I was like happy, right? Like, because I was happy in my life prior, but it was like I'd sleep with a pillow between my legs because my right hip was so fucked up. It hurt so bad. And like yoga started to help all these things. So I was like, cool. But then I like hurt my bicep or shoulder because I was doing fucking chaturanga wrong for like 2 months. I just wasn't holding my elbows in enough. So so then I fuck up my shoulder, and I'm like, Jesus. So even the thing that's fixing me is like causing me pain. Nothing's good anymore. Nothing matters, And it's wild. And then the one I noticed today, one of the biggest changes, because all this pain is gone. It's gone. Like, and when I noticed it was gone, I was like, wait a minute, what? Like, it's gone. I'm nimble. I feel like fluid. And like, so when I was a kid, like I think 15 or 16, my mom, she's not a big drinker, but she had like liquor like hidden in a cabinet, when she'd have dinner parties and, and they'd get a little crazy and having like a fucking martini, right? And I remember I had found her vodka, and I like would stay up all night, and I was like dumping it into a cup and filling it with lemonade and getting just like blackout drunk. And one night I got and like typing to people on the internet as a child. This is how I dealt with being sent away, I think. I was like, and one night I got so fucking wasted that I was in the backyard smoking a cigarette. I fell and I slammed my chin, the bottom of my chin, like I fell on something. I have a scar. You can see it. And my mom found me in the morning, passed it on the couch, blood just dribbling down my neck. She's like, what happened? And I was just like, get away from me, And, my jaw, as a result, felt like out of line forever. Like, and it would click if I opened my mouth too wide. So, like, frankly, like the only time I really noticed it is when I was like sucking dick, right?
Oh God.
Yeah, and if I sucked a dick more than once, like the same dick twice, usually that person would end up noticing it, right? Like, because it's quiet, there's like moaning. I mean, who the fuck's playing like R&B music anymore while sex is going on? But like, so it's quiet, and then you could kind of hear my jaw click, and then it's been brought up to me. And like, that's not hot, right? Like hearing this like clicking sound while
Is your head broken? You know what I mean?
Well, it felt like that. And I was like, well, this is just, I have to live with this now. And then I noticed today when I was sucking your dick I know it happened.
Shame,
I know.
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame, Catholic shame.
Few Hail Marys might fix that.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's not clicking anymore. And then I was like, oh my God. It doesn't click anymore. Like, somebody get me on a corner. I'm ready to make some fucking money. Let's do this. Like, who wants to be a millionaire? I'm ready to suck every dick I see. And so it's really, it works. That's for sure. This shit is definitely happening. The woo woo. So I don't know. I'm going to keep doing it just because it's making me.
Yeah, no, I got to do it. I haven't shifted to your vibration yet. I'm still working on it because I still get angry when I can't catch my breath during Wim Hof. I get frustrated.
Well, I think that's part of it. I can hear you struggling, and I think there is shit being released, for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm going to get there. I'm going to be levitating soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't wait to see you like floating around all over the room. You are in a better mood. I mean, I was sitting in the living room, and I think you got out of the shower, and then you like ran in here naked and like waving at me, hopping around like a little frog.
No, I always thank Wim Hof. I go, thanks, Wim, after my breathing.
It's good to thank the people that help you. Okay, you hear that? You've got mail. Thank people who try to help you. Seriously.
Got mail.
Fucking Chipotlegate. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
You've got a mail in your ass.
He does, and he likes one. And,
I hope he wins his battle.
I do too. I mean, fucking A. Maybe they are poisoning people. I mean,
imagine if he does win and his podcast becomes huge, and then he'll give you some money for sending him on the right path.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to be said, like, for evil in this world. Like, I think we've discussed evil before, and evil people do exist among regular people, and they are regular
One
people.
man's evil is another man's his eye. You know what I mean?
That's true. That is true. I mean, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. You know, what do you think of these pictures? Do you think the picture that I bought is evil?
No, I mean,
I don't think it's evil.
They have disturbing vibes, but they're also very artistic. So I like it. I like pixelated faces are disturbing because it's I don't know what it is.
Yeah, should I?
When you pixelate a face, it's like you're taking the whole body's there, but the humanity of the face is gone. Because we use our minds is like we're always looking for like the fucking shapes of faces. We like pick up on it straight away, and then but when you pixelate a face,
you can't see the eyes.
Well, yeah, it just confuses you, and then it's like it's disturbing, you know.
Well, should I explain the painting thing?
Yeah, explain it. Yeah.
So I was, well, it's kind of a silly story, but I was like, waddling down Portobello Road, and I think I was looking for a hat and sunglasses for you, right? And
because I want to be cool at work.
Yep, and I see this antique store on the corner. It's red. I think it's called Alice's or something. And I see this. I first saw this portrait, the one I ended up buying, right? And it's like this Renaissance woman, and she's very like, look at me, and she has this beautiful blue background, and she has these tattoos, like a chest tattoo and some tattoos on her arms, right? But she's like Marie Antoinette, but with like,
Yeah, she's a bit hoard up.
Yeah.
But she's also classic.
But then her face is totally pixelated.
Yeah.
So I stopped to look at it because I was like, that's fucking weird.
Face is totally pixelated. Like she downloaded the wrong type of porn.
Yeah, exactly. And then I see another one, right? And it's this other lady, and her eyes are pixelated, but her hand is kind of on her mouth, like her thumb is on her bottom lip, and she's sitting backwards in a chair, leaning on it, and she has a little dog in her lap, and she's got like kind of punk rock bracelets on, and she's got tattoos too. She had a Frida Kahlo tattoo, right? And so I see her, and of course I'm like, okay, that's fucking weird. And so I thought I loved the blue one, right? The first one, and I was like, for sure. But then I like saw that one and I was like, well, wait a minute. Fuck, do I like that one? Which one do I like more? And so, I put it on Instagram because I'm like, these are twisting me up. Like, look, I love stuff. I love weird, kitschy stuff, but rarely am I like, caused to stop and pause and be like, what the fuck is going on by things, And so I put it on Instagram, and I can't stop thinking about it, right? And I'm just like, then I start sending it to every crazy person I know, like any person that I know who's a lunatic, like intimately. I'm like, I need to know what your opinion is, like why, and including my mother, right? And
what did she think? Was she disturbed?
She liked the one I picked. Yeah.
But did she find the pixelated face disturbing?
We haven't talked about it. I can ask her because she's been at Grey Eagle. You remember I thought she was dead on Friday.
Maybe she didn't even notice the face was pixelated. Maybe she sees everything as pixelated. She did because
she called it the fuzzy one.
Oh yes.
So this is what's weird. So I mean this might take too long, and let me just I'll try to make it as fast as possible. But basically, I put them up, and I when on my way back, I say to the guy, I was like, so what's the deal with these? And he just goes, I don't know. And this is an antique.
What a good salesman.
This is an antique store, okay? And mind you, these are brand new. These are posters in a wooden frame. The corners had cardboard on it, right? Like never used. The back had never been used. It had cardboard over the part where you put the wire to hang it. Like brand new. Framed wood, glass, never used. And he's like, I don't know. And it's an antique store, right? So these should be like antiques. So
he just had a I don't give a fuck kind of day, did he?
No, he just kind of casually looked at me and was like, I don't know. And I was like, okay.
That sounds like it's lunchtime for him.
Yeah, I mean,
he's like, can you fuck off? I'm trying to eat.
Well, he kind of like laughed at me a little bit, and I was like, yeah. He was like, you get a lot for your money, and I'm like, yeah, because you do. I mean, it's got the frame and everything on it already, and it was 35 pounds, which is basically like $48, Which is
exact.
Yeah, so I was like, I need to think about it. I'm gonna ask my husband which one he likes and stuff. So of course I go home, and now I've done this like poll on my Instagram stories. I'm like, I need to know, and then I start asking every crazy person I know, and like what they think. And you liked the other one. You liked the Frida Kahlo bracelet one. I didn't like her bracelets, but I did like that you.
I just liked her hand. Well, the way her hand was over by the mouth. I used to study art in school, so fucking I got a good perspective on fucking.
Yeah, well, and when you
I've got fucking taste. You know what I mean?
Well, when you pointed that out, I was like, I agree with you.
Caravaggio. You know what I mean? I know all the boys.
Yeah, but I didn't like her bracelets, right? So then I sent it to my friend Colton. I sent him both pictures, and I was like, which one? And then he, of course, responds in his fashion. I know I'm just like airing everybody's dirty laundry right now, but I think this is pretty, innocent. It's innocent enough. Can I even find this?
We used to do fucking self-portraits. Did you ever do self-portraits?
No, I can't draw for shit.
Still life. We used to do still lifes of each other, me and my friends, because in art class. And then you used to like fucking, I could do a good enough still life, and my friend Tommy could do really good ones. They were accurate. And you can do them and get your whole face, and all you have to do is fuck around with the eyes for a second to make something look insanely creepy.
See, I would trace pictures in magazines and pretend like I drew them. That's how bad I was at art. So
plagiarism.
Yep. So I sent him both pictures, and I said, which one? And then he says to me, and I can see that the messages went through. I can see that the pictures went through. And he goes, you only sent me one choice, and it doesn't cut the mustard. The dog, bracelets, tattoos are passé and gouache. If there is another option, choose that. The only contemporary British painter I fucks with is Peter Doig. I don't even know if I said that right. So I was like, it didn't go through. So I send him the blue one because, he said bracelets and dogs, so I knew which one he got. I send him the blue one again. And I'm like, did you get that? And he says, nay. One did earlier, 19th century chick with Frida Kahlo tattoo. So then I'm like, are you fucking with me? So are you like saying that there's only one choice and it's the blue one? You know what I mean? Like, is he speaking in riddles? Because he is that kind of person, right? And I was like, so you've switched. So what's your final answer? And he's like, what? No, you sent one option. I stand by my original comment. And I was like, I can't tell if you're fucking with me or if the pictures aren't going through. So I send it to him again. So now I've sent him this fucking blue picture 3 times. And he's gotten the other one, and he's getting all my other messages. And he replies, one and only one picture went through, which was in your initial text. I did not like it. I responded so. I think you thought my comment, there is only one choice, implied that I strongly enjoyed one versus another, when in fact I only had one option. And then I was like, I've sent you the other picture 3 times. Then I sent him 3 screenshots of the 3 times I sent him the photo. And then he just stopped replying to the whole conversation, right? So that was his take. He is a Scorpio, and he is basically Wolverine riding a My Little Pony. That is his energy. When I messaged my mom about it, I hope this is, when I messaged my mom about it, I sent her both pictures, and I said, because she's with her like old lady friends at Grey Eagle. I don't even know what that is, but they're on this little like old lady, trip. And she said, I had Karen look at them, and we both like the fuzzy one. Katie and Barbara like the clear one. But it's like neither of them are clear. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but older people, everything's kind of fuzzy, you know what I mean?
Right. But it's just
I think the whole world looks pixelated once you're over 60.
It's just everybody's response is like, to this is like, It I feel like represents the posters themselves, right? I'm like, what is happening? Like, why are there no words? And one of the reasons I ended up with the one I did was A, it was my initial choice. B, I asked a comedian, very funny comedian, Ryan Donahue. I was like, why do you like the blue one better? Because that was his choice. And he said it's because she is like, look at me, but you can't because her face is pixelated. And I have this joke that I've never done about how I want to be the most beautiful woman in the world, but I don't want anyone to look at me. And I was like, that speaks to me. And then when I was carrying this poster home, I was almost to our apartment, and this little kid was with his dad, and I had it facing out. And when he saw it, his eyes went wide and his head went back in horror, like in fear. And I was like, yes, I picked the right one. But I'm landing this plane now. You look upset. Are you upset?
I don't know. I was trying to think of a joke about is the kid scared because when you look on TV, every pedophile is pixelated. You know their faces.
Wow, you did it though.
Yeah, but it was. I don't really know if it worked.
No,
it worked in my head. You know what I mean? Sometimes I just laugh in my own head, and that's enough for me sometimes.
No, it worked. It's worth something.
We haven't podcasted in a while. You know, it takes a while to get back into swing of things.
Yeah, but so now I'm like, where did these come from? Oh, and the other thing is when I went back to buy it, I found out there was a third one, right? Or I guess I found out the day of, but I found out there was a third one. I didn't like her at all, so I didn't even put her in the mix. And he had 2 of her, right? So I'm like, okay, more than one of all of these exist. So somebody has to make these. Some artist, somebody is producing these pictures. There's a sticker on the back that would say, like, you know, it has like a number and like maybe the artist's name. Most of it's scratched off. You can't discern anything from it. Okay.
So it's a bit of a mystery.
It is a mystery.
What if there's fucking listening devices in this?
There might be. I mean, we're holding microphones and we have a Google Home, so, you know, or like whatever it's called.
I mean, surveillance on every angle.
No, but okay. So then I'm like, I want to know. Like, let's say I want to buy one of these for my mommy for Christmas or some shit. So I'm Googling like Renaissance pixelated woman, you know, trying to find who created these. So then I find an ad on Gumtree of another one that I haven't seen, and it's 2 women. I showed it to you. It's terrifying.
Yeah, it was scary, yeah.
Because it looks like one is maybe drawing the other one, but she's looking over her shoulder. Like they're both looking at you, but their faces are pixelated, and you feel like you're an intruder, like you're not supposed to be there. Like I wouldn't hang it in my home. It terrifies me. And I saw it, and I was like, okay, where is this? Because Gumtree is basically UK Craigslist. And so I was like, where the fuck is this one? Because it has a kind of gold-brown frame. I guess the glass broke, and they're selling it for £20, and it's 102 miles away from London, right? So I messaged the person. I'm like, hey, where did you get this? They haven't replied. So it's a full-fledged fucking mystery. You were like, I'll find it. You gave up. You can't find shit about it. I want to know. It's fucking wild. I love it.
So it's a little art mystery.
Little art mystery. Yeah. So I think we did it. I think we podcasted. Look at that.
Oh wow, yeah.
So you know, we've lost, so surprise, we've lost some patrons because like what are we even doing? But we do have to say, I think we should say thank you for the support we got, because with the support we received over the last year
and a half,
well, I mean, a year and a couple months, we were able to buy a preamp and make this sound not like a piece of shit, so I can stop yelling at you.
If you can do the maths on this to figure out how many patrons we had, if it took a year and a half to buy something that's worth
to buy something on eBay used, but still I was able to buy it. But we did lose some, but we have 3 left, so maybe I should thank them. Or do you want to guess who they are?
No, you thank them.
No, you should guess. Guess who's left.
Niall.
Yep.
Damo.
Yep.
Kev.
Yep. Nice job. You did it. So there they are. Thank you. Thank you for helping us. And, you know, thanks for listening.
Peace out.
This